Agony and Anguish. Author and presenter Mr. Jayaram Ramesh, Mumbai. The brutal murder of a gentle grandfather who had recited the Mahrudra thousands of times. There once lived a noble soul, respectfully known as Bapu Sahib. He led his life guided by wisdom, discretion, and righteousness. He had performed countless recitations of the Mahrudra, the sacred Vedic chant. He had visited pilgrimage centers across India. Wherever he went, he would chant the Rudra mantras fluently from memory. Many of his followers revered him as their spiritual guru. His wife, whom we fondly called Thoralya Vahini, the elder sister-in-law, always accompanied him. Whenever there was a spiritual event, she was given a respectful place beside him. Bapu Sahib and Thoralya Vahini used to visit our home regularly, at least twice a year. Whenever they came, a Mahrudra recitation and puja would be conducted in our modest one-bedroom housing board flat. I used to invite my parents too for these special days, so that our humble home would be blessed by their holy presence. The recitations would last to 2-3 hours. Bapu Sahib, his wife, and my parents, all fluent in Sanskrit, would chant with ease and devotion. As for me and my wife, not being cultured enough to know Sanskrit, we would follow along using the Rudra text. Whenever I visited Pune for work, I would visit Bapu Sahib. At his ancestral house, he had made arrangements to provide free accommodation for 8 to 10 girl students. When I once asked about it, he replied with a warm laugh. In today's expensive times, where can poor girls afford to stay? So, my wife and I gave away the extra rooms in our house to these college-going girls. Our only son is settled abroad for work, and we had no one staying with us in Pune anymore. That's how this idea was born. I admired this thought, giving new purpose to vacant space by turning it into a charitable act. I congratulated both him and Thoralya Vahini for this noble deed. A few months passed. I got busy with work. One day, I came across a shocking news article. Spiritual guru and Rudra devotee Bapu Sahib brutally murdered in Pune. His wife critically injured. I rushed to Pune by train. When I reached Bapu Sahib's home, I learned that Thoralya Vahini had also passed away in the hospital. Now both of them were to be cremated together at the Hindu cremation ground. Their sacred journey, bound in life, would end together in death. With trembling voice, I asked those present about what had happened. They told me the terrible truth. One of the girl students who stayed at the ancestral house had a boyfriend. One night, in a drunken rage, he became angry that the girls were not allowed visitors after 8 p.m. Blinded by fury, he attacked Bapu Sahib and his wife with a sharp knife, and that attack ended both their lives. Tears streamed down my cheeks. A life of righteousness, simplicity, spiritual devotion. A couple who had recited the Rudra hundreds of thousands of times had met such a tragic and violent end. I bowed to their lifeless bodies in reverence and left for the railway station. I no longer had the strength to witness what fate had written for such a pious and virtuous couple. The end of a scholar in Ayurveda. There lived a learned Vedic scholar and Ayurvedic practitioner in Girgaon, Mumbai. Born into a Dalit caste, he nonetheless conducted himself with the grace and dignity of an upper caste gentleman. A strict vegetarian, he worshipped Lord Dhanvantari, the deity of Ayurveda, every morning and evening with deep devotion. Though he was Dalit by birth, his wife came from an elite Chitpavan Brahman family. Neither of them observed caste or even religious boundaries. They introduced themselves simply as Ashwin Prajapati and Ashwini Prajapati. No one really knew their original names. For several years, Ashwinji worked at Dhrut Papeshwar, a reputed Ayurvedic company. At the age of 60, he devoted himself entirely to social service. Every morning, he would reach his small clinic by 9 a.m., practicing Ayurveda until 2 p.m. He would then go home for lunch, take a half-hour nap, and return by 3 p.m. In the afternoons, he had started a unique initiative, offering free guidance to aspiring entrepreneurs in Ayurvedic formulations and treatments. By then, Ayurveda had seen a resurgence in popularity. He had begun researching treatments for conditions with no known allopathic cures. He firmly believed in the efficacy of microdosed Ayurvedic medicines, which enhanced their healing properties. Using this belief, he developed dozens of effective formulations for allergies, asthma, blood purification, fat reduction, and women's health. He freely shared this knowledge with young Ayurvedic entrepreneurs, helping them succeed in their ventures. In his youth, Ashwinji had spent a year in jail during Gandhiji's freedom movement. Following Gandhian tradition, he took a vow of lifelong celibacy. His wife stood by him in this vow, although many times she felt tempted to break it. But seeing his unwavering devotion to Mahatma Gandhi, she always stepped back. She often pondered, how did Gandhi and Kasturba have 4 children if Gandhi truly advocated celibacy? But this question remained unanswered in her heart. Years passed. Their dedicated work began bearing fruit, bringing peace and quiet satisfaction to their lives. The final morning one dawn, Ashwin and Ashwini went out for their usual morning walk. In the early morning dim light, they were suddenly surrounded by 3 to 4 petty thieves. The couple, true to their simple lifestyle, wore no jewelry or ornaments. Ashwinji calmly said, "I have an old wristwatch here. I'm giving it to you for your benefit. But remember, this is a 50-year-old watch. No one will even buy it from you now." The thieves snatched the watch from his hand, then checked his pockets, but found nothing. Suddenly, one of them struck Ashwinji on the head from behind with a sharp chopper. In less than a minute, his body collapsed to the ground, lifeless. Ashwiniji screamed, pleading for help. But no one in the area came forward to assist. Within 2 minutes, his life force had departed. Realizing that her only support in life was now gone, Ashwiniji took his hand in hers and, within a minute, breathed her last alongside him. Together, in life and in death, they walked toward heaven, hand in hand.